أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. إنا فتحنا لك فتحا مبينا ليغفر لك الله ما تقدم من ذنبك وما تأخر ويتم نعمته عليك ويهديك صراطا مستقيما وينصرك الله نصرا عزيزا. هو الذي أنزل السكينة في قلوب المؤمنين ليزدادوا إيمانا مع إيمانهم ولله جنود السماوات والأرض وكان الله عليما حكيما. ليدخل المؤمنين والمؤمنات جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها ويكفر عنهم سيئاتهم وكان ذلك عند الله فوزا عظيما. ويعذب المنافقين والمنافقات والمشركين والمشركات الظانين بالله والمشركين والمشركات الظانين بالله ظن السوء عليهم دائرة السوء وغضب الله عليهم ولعنهم وأعد لهم جهنم وساءت مصيرا. ولله جنود السماوات والأرض وكان الله عزيزا حكيما. إنا أرسلناك شاهدا ومبشرا ونذيرا لتؤمنوا بالله ورسوله وتعزروه وتوقروه وتسبحوه بكرة وأصيلا. إن الذين يبايعونك إنما يبايعون الله يد الله فوق أيديهم فمن نكث فإنما ينكث على نفسه ومن أوفى بما عاهد عليه الله فسيؤتيه أجرا عظيما. سيقول لك المخلفون من الأعراب شغلتنا أموالنا وأهلنا فاستغفر لنا يقولون بألسنتهم ما ليس في قلوبهم قل فمن يملك لكم من الله شيئا إن أراد بكم ضرا أو أراد بكم نفعا بل كان الله بما تعملون خبيرا. آمنا بالله صدق الله العلي العظيم.
Jazakallah, Brother Ibrahim Garai, for such a beautiful recitation. Inshallah, we're going to start our program, as it's already started, with the recitation of Holy Quran. Eid Mubarak to you all. As you all know, the last 2 days, and this is the third night, we are celebrating three Ahl Bayt, Bibi ZANYAB, HAZRAT Abbas, and Imam HUSSAIN alayhi salam. This 3 nights program is combined for all those 3 people. Inshallah, Eid Mubarak to you all. Once again, welcome. Welcome to Islamic Center of MOMIN for this last night of the celebration, birth celebration of our third Imam, Imam Hussain alayhi salam. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajjal farajahum. Inshallah, we're going to move to the next phase of our program. I know the brother Turab told me the food is very delicious, especially the pastry. So if you are finished, please join us. We have a better food in here too. We're going to cut the beautiful cake. We have goodie bags. And a lot of fun activities inside the main hall too. So I'd like to request, if you are done with your food, please join us on the Farsh Aza. Or you can say Farsh Wilaya. Inshallah, with that, I have few of the new names in front of me, and I'm very glad to see those names, the Manqabat reciters. And I'm going to invite first one among that, if he's here, Brother Haider Ali. Brother Haider Ali, please recite the loud salawat for him. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad wa ajjal farajahu.
Salawat. معمار عرض کرب و بلا میں حسین ہوں معمار عرض کرب و بلا میں حسین ہوں نوکر بنی ہے جس کی قضا میں حسین ہوں معمار عرض کرب و بلا میں حسین ہوں اس پوری کائنات میں شبیر کے سوا گزرے بہت ولی و نبی عالی مرتبہ لیکن کوئی یہ کہہ نہ سکا میں حسین ہوں حسین ہوں معمار عرض کرب و بلا میں حسین ہوں راہب کے ساتھ بیٹے تو معمولی بات ہے میرے تو اختیار میں کل کائنات ہے جو چاہے جس کو کر دو عطا میں حسین ہوں حسین ہوں معمار عرض کرب و بلا میں حسین ہوں میرے لیے نبی نے جو سجدہ بڑھا دیا خالق سے میں نے وعدہ اسی وقت کر لیا قرضہ اتار دوں گا تیرا میں حسین ہوں حسین ہوں معمار عرض کرب و بلا میں حسین ہوں واقف نہیں ہے وہ میرے جاہو جلال سے बैयत तलब है फातिमा ज़हरा के लाल से, शायद यजीद भूल गया मैं हुसैन हूँ, मैं हुसैन हूँ, मैं मारे अर्ज़े कर्बो बला मैं हुसैन हूँ। चमके है मेरे नूर से ज़र्रे ज़मीन के, तुम क्या बताओगे मुझे कानून दीन के। इस्लाम मेरे घर में पला मैं हुसैन हूँ, मैं हुसैन हूँ, मैं मारे अर्ज़े कर्बो बला मैं हुसैन हूँ। नौकर बनी है जिसकी क़ज़ा मैं हुसैन हूँ, मैं हुसैन हूँ, मैं मारे अर्ज़े कर्बो बला मैं हुसैन हूँ। सलावत।
माशाल्लाह ब्रदर हैदर अली की सेहत सलामती के लिए एक बुलंद आवाज़ से सलवात भिजवा दीजिए। अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद वज्जल फरजो। One more time, our request to all the MOMINeen, if you're done with your niyaz, please join us inside for Manqabat Khani. Even the brother told me some of them, brothers are on outside of the hall. If please you can join us inside, it will be good for our new reciters to recite. And also when Alhamdulillah we have so many zan in the mahfil is zinat, you know. So Alhamdulillah I saw 3 zan in here and I'm going to invite them one by one. So inshallah they will be zinat of this verse. With that, once again we have new brother Ali Zain Bukhari among us, and I'm like to invite him to come and recite. Ali Zain Bukhari. Please recite the loud salawat for him. See, I told you, no, when we have so many Zain, then we have a zenat of the first. Ali Zain Imran, not Bukhari. Ali Zain Imran Bukhari, please. Ali Zain Imran, please recite the loud salawat for him.
एक बार दोबारा सलवात करना। दिले बतूल के अंदर हुसैन रहता है, दिले बतूल के अंदर हुसैन रहता है, जहाँ खुदा जहाँ खुदा है वहीं पर हुसैन रहता है, दिले बतूल के अंदर हुसैन रहता है। खुदा का इससे बड़ा फख्र क्या होगा, خدا کا اس سے بڑا فخر کیا ہوگا کہ اس کے سجدے میں شب بھر حسین رہتا ہے دل بطول کے اندر حسین رہتا ہے رسول عرش پہ جاتے ہیں جس سے ملنے کو رسول عرش پہ جاتے ہیں جس سے ملنے کو اسے زمین پہ بلا کر حسین رہتا ہے دل بطول کے اندر حسین رہتا ہے دل بطول کے اندر حسین رہتا ہے خدا تلک ہو رسائی ہر ایک بندے کی خدا تلک ہو رسائی ہر ایک بندے کی اسی لیے تو زمین پر حسین رہتا ہے دل بطول کے اندر حسین رہتا ہے میری نماز سے اس کو نکالنے والوں میری نماز سے اس کو نکالنے والوں نبی کے سجدوں میں اکثر حسین رہتا ہے دل بطول کے اندر حسین رہتا ہے بتا رہا ہے یہ رومال فاطمہ کا سوال بتا رہا ہے یہ رومال فاطمہ کا سوال ہمارے عاشقوں کے اندر حسین رہتا ہے دل بطول کے اندر حسین رہتا ہے جہاں خدا ہے جہاں خدا ہے وہیں پر حسین رہتا ہے دل بطول کے اندر حسین رہتا ہے
اللہم صلی علی محمد یہ تھے علی زین عمران ان کی صحت سلامتی کے لیے ایک بلند آواز سے صلوات بھجوا دیجئے اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل محمد و عجل فرجہم انشاءاللہ ایک اور نام جو کہ میرے لیے تو نیا ہی ہے لیکن پھر زین محفل انشاءاللہ ان کا نام ہی علی زین ہے میں اب ان سے منتمس ہوں آپ کی بلند صلوات میں کہ وہ تشریف لائیں اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل Or just to reminder to my younger brothers, if you are going to talk in the main hall, you have to recite the Manqabat, if it is okay. You all need to recite one Manqabat. Is it fine? No? Then recite the Salawat. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali
Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat. جس نے ایک بار تمہیں دل سے پکارا عباس، جس نے ایک بار تمہیں دل سے پکارا عباس، اس پہ مشکل نہیں آتی ہے دوبارہ عباس، جس نے ایک بار تمہیں دل سے پکارا عباس، صرف حسنین نہیں باغ فدق کے وارث، صرف حسنین نہیں باغ فدق کے وارث، اس میں حق رکھا ہے زہرا نے تمہارا عباس، جس نے ایک بار تمہیں دل سے پکارا عباس، اپنی نظروں کی اتاری ہے نظر خود میں نے، اپنی نظروں کی اتاری ہے نظر خود میں نے، کر کے جی بھر کے تیرے در کا نظارہ عباس، جس نے ایک بار تمہیں دل سے پکارا عباس، آدھا لشکر تیری نظروں سے کٹا دریا پر، آدھا لشکر تیری نظروں سے کٹا دریا پر، آدھا لشکر تیرے رہوار نے مارا عباس، جس نے ایک بار تمہیں دل سے پکارا عباس، محمد و آل محمد मोहम्मद सलावत।
माद अज्जल फरजो ज़ैनन अली ज़ैन की सेहत और सलामती के लिए एक बुलंद आवाज़ से सलवात भिजवा दीजिए। अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद व अज्जल फरजो। जज़ाकल्लाह, बहुत खूबसूरत अदायगी। अब इंशाअल्लाह थोड़ा सा चेंज की तरफ ज़ैन फिर हम थोड़ा सा ज़ैन को गैप देंगे, उसके बाद ज़ैन को बुलाएंगे इंशाअल्लाह, क्योंकि वो भी ज़ीनत बनने वाले हैं। अब मैं गुजारिश करूँगा, मैं ये तो नहीं कहूँगा अपना भाई, मेरे अपने बेटे को मोहम्मद बाकिर पीर भाई को कि वो तशरीफ़ लाएँ और बारगाह इमाम हुसैन में हदिया पेश करें। बर मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद सलवात।
पर मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु। न पूछिए कि क्या हुसैन है, न पूछिए कि क्या हुसैन है, क्या हुसैन है। न पूछिए कि क्या हुसैन है। खुदा के दी का ना खुदा, खुदा के दी का ना खुदा, हर इब्तिदा की इब्तिदा, करम की इंतहा हुसैन है। क्या हुसैन है, न पूछिए कि क्या हुसैन है। न पूछिए कि क्या हुसैन है, क्या हुसैन है। न पूछिए कि क्या हुसैन है। करे जो कोई हमसरी, किसी की क्या मजाल है। जहाँ में हर लिहाज से हुसैन बेमिसाल है। ये हो चुका है फैसला, ये हो चुका है फैसला, न कोई दूसरा खुदा, न कोई दूसरा हुसैन है। क्या हुसैन है, न पूछिए कि क्या हुसैन है। न पूछिए कि क्या हुसैन है। हुसैन से जो दूर है, वो सब गमों से चूर है। हुसैन के जो पास है, गमे जहां से दूर है। ये दीन जिसकी देन है, ये दीन जिसकी देन है, जो जिंदगी का चैन है। वो सच्चा काफिया हुसैन है। क्या हुसैन है, न पूछिए कि क्या हुसैन है। न पूछिए कि क्या हुसैन है। शहीद करबला का गम जिसे बिना गवार है, वो बदअमल है बदनसीब, उसी पे बेशुमार है। अरे ओ दुश्मन अदा, अरे ओ दुश्मन अदा, तू मर जरा लहद में जा, पता चलेगा क्या हुसैन है। क्या हुसैन है, न पूछिए कि क्या हुसैन है। करो के घर मुखालफत गमे हुसैन की यहाँ, वो हश्र होगा हश्र में कि अल हफीज अल्लमान। जहाँ भी छुपने जाओगे, जहाँ भी छुपने जाओगे, کہیں پہ بچ نہ پاؤ گے کہ ہر جگہ میرا حسین ہے. کیا حسین ہے کہ ہر جگہ میرا حسین ہے. نہ پوچھئے کہ کیا حسین ہے, کیا حسین ہے. نہ پوچھئے کہ کیا حسین ہے. پر محمد و آل محمد صلوات.
اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل محمد وعجل فرجہم. جزاک اللہ. یہ تھے محمد باقر پیر بھائی. ان کی صحت و سلامتی کے لیے ایک بلند آواز سے صلوات بھجوا دیجئے. اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل محمد وعجل فرجہم. Mu'mineen, as you know, we had a security people in the MOMIN center, and they just informed us there's more people outside than inside. So please, the volunteers, if you see the people, please direct them to the main hall. Inshallah, program is reaching to the next step. اب جس اپنے جوان بھائی کو میں دعوت کلام دینا چاہ رہا ہوں, اسی کمیونٹی میں پیدا ہوا, اسی کمیونٹی میں گرو اپ ہوا, اسی کمیونٹی میں اس نے پڑھنا سیکھا, پھر اس کے بعد پڑھا پاکستان میں اور بہت سی جگہوں پہ, اور الحمدللہ اپنے نام سے یوٹیوب چینلوں پہ نوحہ خوانی بھی کی, منقبت خوانی بھی کی. آپ سب سے گزارش ہے کہ ضرور سے اس کی کلام کو سنیں. یوٹیوب پہ جا کے اپنے کلام کو پیش کیا اس نے یوٹیوب میں. اب آپ کی پرجوش صلوات میں دعوت دیتا ہوں برادر ایان عباس کو کہ وہ تشریف لائیں اور امام حسین کی برگاہ میں اپنا نذرانہ پیش کریں. بر محمد و آل محمد صلوات.
سب سے پہلے تو آپ سب کو دل کی گہرائیوں سے آمد مولا حسین بہت مبارک, اور تمام شعبان کی خوشیاں بہت مبارک ہوں. بس چند اشعار آپ کی سماعتوں کی نظر. بر محمد و آل محمد صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم. ہر آدمی مجبور ہے تقدیر کے آگے, ہر آدمی مجبور ہے تقدیر کے آگے, ہر آدمی مجبور ہے تقدیر کے آگے, ہر آدمی مجبور ہے تقدیر کے آگے. تقدیر ہے بے بس میرے شبیر کے آگے, تقدیر ہے بے بس میرے شبیر کے آگے. اور زہرا کے بنا, زہرا کے بنا, زہرا کے بنا ہوگی نہ محشر میں شفاعت, زہرا کے بنا ہوگی نہ محشر میں شفاعت. تم ناک بھی رگڑو گے کسی پیر کے آگے, تم ناک بھی رگڑو گے کسی پیر کے آگے. بر محمد و آل محمد صلوات. تین شعبان ہے, تین شعبان ہے, ماضی کو بھلایا جائے. تین شعبان ہے, ماضی کو بھلایا جائے. روٹھے ہوئے اپنوں کو منایا جائے. اور وقت چرخا, وقت چرخا ذرا الٹا چلا वक्त चरखा ज़रा उल्टा चला जाए, खुम का मैदान में फिर से दिखाया जाए, और पहली शाबान से ज़ैनब ये सदा देती है, पहली शाबान से ज़ैनब ये सदा देती है, 3 शाबान काबे को सजाया जाए। और आज देखेंगे हुसैन बिन अली पहला मरीज, आज देखेंगे हुसैन बिन अली पहला मरीज, है कहाँ जल्दी से रुस को बुलाया जाए, है कहाँ जल्दी रुस को बुलाया जाए, और रन में 9 लाख को देखा तो ये बोले असले, रन में 9 लाख को देखा तो ये बोले असले, बाबा माटी के खिलौनों को हटाया जाए, और रोज़ आशूर है, ज़ंजीर है और सहन इमाम, रोज़ आशूर है, ज़ंजीर है और सहन इमाम, अब मुझे रोकने वालों से बचा जाए, और खुल के पढ़ने है फज़ाइल, मुझे लिखने पहले, खुल के है फज़ाइल, मुझे लेके पहले, रज़ादार को सलमा ने बनाया जाए, हर रज़ादार को सलमा ने बनाया जाए। मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद
मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद वजल फरजो। जीते रहो, मौला तुम्हारी आवाज़ में और ज़्यादा ताकत पेश करे और दे तुमको। ये थे आयान अब्बास, इनकी सेहत और सलामती के लिए एक बुलंद आवाज़ से सलवात भिजवा दीजिए। ये जो जवान मनकबत खां और नौ खां आपकी ही अपनी कम्युनिटी में से ग्रुप होते हैं, ये फ़क्र कम्युनिटी होते हैं, और ऐसे हमारे पास माशाल्लाह बहुत सारे नाम हैं जो फ़क्र कम्युनिटी भी हैं, और उनमें से चंद को मैं ये कहूँगा जो फ़क्र मोमिन भी हैं। क्यों? क्योंकि मोमिन जो है वो मरकज़ी इमाम बारगाह DFW है, जैसे कि आप सब जानते हैं कि सबसे पहला इमाम बारगाह, और अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह जिस तरह औलादें बढ़ती हैं और शादी होती है और बच्चे मूव आउट हो जाते हैं, तो इस तरह दूसरे इमाम बारगाह भी बने, लेकिन आप ये कह सकते हैं कि मरकज़ियत अभी भी मोमिन के साथ है। और इन बच्चों में कुछ ऐसे हैं जो इंशाल्लाह आगे एक नाम मेरे पास है जिसको हम आसानी से फ़क्र मोमिन कह सकते हैं इंशाल्लाह। इससे पहले आपने अली और ज़ैन का मिलाप देखा है। ये कैसे हो सकता है कि हुसैन की मिलाद हो और ज़ैन हसन ना हो? तो अब आपकी बुलंद सलवात से میں اپنے ایک جوان بھائی زین حسن کو دعوت دوں گا کہ وہ بارگاہ امام حسین میں اپنی منقبت کا نذرانہ پیش کریں. بر محمد و آل محمد صلوات.
برائے خوشنودی امام زمانہ بلندتر صلوات. روح نماز کیا ہے سجدہ حسین جیسا. روح نماز کیا ہے سجدہ حسین جیسا. ہو سجدہ حسین جیسا. جھکنا کبھی نہ لوگو اہل جفا کے آگے. انسان سر جھکائے بس کبریا کے آگے. ہو روح نماز کیا ہے سجدہ حسین جیسا. روح نماز کیا ہے سجدہ حسین جیسا. جن کی عبادتوں میں میرا جن کی دعا کا محور معبود کی خوشی ہے. وہ لوگ چاہتے ہیں وہ لوگ چاہتے ہیں رستہ حسین جیسا. روح نماز کیا سجدہ حسین جیسا. روح نماز کیا ہے سجدہ حسین جیسا. وہ روح زندگی ہے وہ روح بندگی ہے. میزان جانے عمل وہی ہے. ہو پیشوا یہاں پر جس کا حسین جیسا. روح نماز کیا ہے سجدہ حسین جیسا. روح نماز کیا ہے سجدہ حسین جیسا. بر محمد وآل محمد صلوات.
سلامت رہیں زین حسن. ان کی صحت و سلامتی کے لیے ایک بلند آواز سے درود بھیج دیجئے. اللہم صلی علی محمد و آل محمد وعجل فرجہم. परवेज़ भाई अंदर आके हेड काउंट करके गए हैं कि किस किस को टू गो बॉक्स देना है, तो अगर आप बाहर हैं तो प्लीज़ अंदर आ जाइए, टू गो बॉक्स नहीं मिलने वाला जो फर्श पे नहीं बैठा है उसको. तो brothers, request you all, if you're done with your niyaz food, please join us in the main hall. We had just, I have 3 names, but it looked like we had just 2 names left. So please join us. Do you not want to miss this? Inshallah, after that is Maulana's speech. And after the speech, we had Kahoot game for the kids, all ages. If you're going to stay in there, in the hall, and listen to the Maulana, you'll get benefit out of your Kahoot game, inshallah. अब इसके बाद मैं जिस नाम को बुला रहा हूँ, फिर एक दफ़ा आयान की तरह, चलिए आयान से सीनियर है, लेकिन ये इसी कम्युनिटी में जो है ब्रॉट अप हुआ. इसने बड़ी मेहनत की, बड़ी रियासत की, यहाँ पढ़ा, पाकिस्तान में पढ़ा, और फिर बढ़ते 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 आज माशाल्लाह इसका नाम ना सिर्फ DFW कम्युनिटी में है, बल्कि अमेरिका में हर जगह इसको लोग नाम से जानते हैं. और इस अगर गलत ना होगा अगर कि ये वाकई ही फ़ख्र मोमिन है, ये बच्चा वाकई फ़ख्र मोमिन है. इसने मेरे सामने कई दफ़ा अपनी खिदमत पेश की हैं इस्लामिक सेंटर मोमिन में और दूसरी जगहों पे. मैं इंशाअल्लाह आपकी बुलंद सलवात में इसको दावत देता हूँ हसन नायानी को कि वो तशरीफ़ लाएँ और पारगाह इमाम हुसैन में अपना हदिया पेश करें. बर मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद सल्लल्लाहु.
सारे पढ़ने वालों की, आपके सारे सुनने वालों की, और ख़ुसूसन हज़रत पीर भाई अंकल और उनकी फैमिली की सेहत सलामती के बावाज़ बुलंद सलावत. ख़याल खालिक़े अकबर का हम ख़याल हुसैन, ख़याल खालिक़े अकबर का हम ख़याल हुसैन, जिसे ज़वाल नहीं है वो लाज़वाल हुसैन, बशर के रूप में अल्लाह की मिसाल हुसैन, दिले रसूल की दरखन अली कलाल हुसैन, और हुसैन जैसे किसी के भी वालिदैन नहीं, बहुत हसीन है यूसुफ मगर हुसैन नहीं, बहुत हसीन है यूसुफ मगर हुसैन नहीं. और समंदरों ने किया जिसकी तशनगी को सलाम, नमाज करती रही जिसकी बंदगी को सलाम, किया है मौत ने खुद जिसकी जिंदगी को सलाम, ज़माना करता है अब तक उसी जरी को सलाम, हयात मौत के साहिल को बांट देता है, हुसैन तेग को शहरक से काट देता حسین تیغ کو شرگ سے کاٹ دیتا ہے، حسین صبر ہے ایثار ہے محبت ہے، حسین عشق کے مضمون کی عبارت ہے، حسین رحمت للعالمین پہ رحمت ہے، حسین کوئی فسانہ نہیں حقیقت ہے، جہاں میں اب بھی شاہ مشرقین باقی ہے، یزید مٹ گیا نام حسین باقی ہے، یزید مٹ گیا نام حسین باقی ہے، غریب یزید مٹ گیا نام حسین باقی ہے، انا پرست غریبوں کا چارہ ساز حسین، وقار آل محمد نبی کا ناز حسین، قسم خدا کی خدا ہونے کا جواز حسین، کہو یہ میر تکلم میری نماز حسین، نبی سے پوچھ لو کیا مرتبہ حسین کا ہے، یہ کائنات خدا کی خدا حسین کا ہے، یہ کائنات خدا کی خدا حسین کا ہے، پر محمد وآل محمد صلی اللہ علیہ وسلم۔
سلامت رہو، سلامت رہو حسن نیانی، خدا اسی طرح تمہاری توفیقات میں اضافہ کرتا رہے اور تم اچھے سے اچھے کلام نہ صرف اس کمیونٹی کو بلکہ تمام کمیونٹیوں کو سناتے رہو۔ حسن نیانی کی صحت و سلامتی کے لیے ایک بلند آواز سے صلوات بھیج دیجیے۔ گھبرائے گا نہیں، میں نہیں مجلس پڑھنے والا، وہاں پہ صرف کرسی رکھی ہے۔ اب جو ہستی ہمارے بیچ موجود ہے، میرا بہت چھوٹا منہ ہے کہ میں اس کی تعریف کروں۔ گزشتہ 20 سال سے زیادہ ہماری دوستی کو ہو چکا ہے۔ یہ شخصیت اس دور میں، جس دور میں امریکہ میں تکفیریت کا زور بڑھ رہا تھا، اس دور میں چند شخصیتیں ابھری، جس میں سے ایک یہ نام ہے جو ہمارے بیچ ہے۔ گزشتہ 20 سالوں سے انہوں نے اتحاد بین المسلمین کے لیے جو کام کیا ہے وہ لاجواب ہے۔ چاہے وہ غدیر کا پروگرام ہو، چاہے وہ جشن مولود کعبہ ہو، چاہے ان کی شرکت امام بارگاہوں میں اور گھروں کی مجالس میں ہو، اس سے لے کے تمام وہ کام جو ایک بندہ مومن کر سکتا تھا مومنین کے لیے، اس نے وہ سب کیا۔ خدا نے اس کو نہ صرف حسن بلکہ اس سے زیادہ خوبصورت آواز سے نوازا ہے، اور یہ ہماری خوش قسمتی ہے کہ جب مومن ان سے گزارش کرتا ہے یہ ہمیں شرف دینے کے لیے حاضر ہو جاتے ہیں۔ اب میں گزارش کر رہا ہوں اپنے بھائی سید علی سے آپ کی بلند صلوات میں کہ وہ تشریف لائیں اور بارگاہ امام حسین میں اپنا کلام پیش کریں. بر محمد و آل محمد صلوات.
السلام علیکم ورحمۃ اللہ. آپ سب کو جشن شعبان مبارک. اظہر بھائی نے تو پتہ نہیں کیا کچھ کہہ دیا. اللہ جانتا میں ان الفاظ آپ کے قابل نہیں. بس یہاں آ جاتا ہوں کچھ سیکھنے کے لیے اور حاضری لگانے کے لیے کہ شاید میرا بھی کہیں نام جب روز محشر جب سرکار مولا امام حسین مولا علی علیہ السلام نفوس قدسیہ جب اپنے معتقدین اپنے محبان اپنے شیعان کو ڈھونڈے تو ہم بھی کہیں نظر آ جائیں. تو یہاں آتا ہوں کچھ سیکھنے کے لیے.
I will request Mominin. This is a final request. We have a guest. He come all the way from Prosper, and behind I know his house, very far. Please come close to the member. At least give him that respect. And you know, after that we had a treasure to call in the member. So please come close to the member. And once again, all the brothers, if you are done with your niyaz, all the younger brothers, you'll come inside and join us on the main hall. Bar Muhammad wa ali Muhammad salawat.
Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. بارے دیگر صلوات. اللہم صلی علی راکب دوش نبی راکب دوش نبی بلغ العلا بکمالہ راکب دوش نبی بلغ العلا بکمالہ اور جس کے دم سے روشنی کشف الدجا بجمالہ جس کے دم سے روشنی کشف الدجا بجمالہ اور نانا نبی بابا علی حسن جمیع خصالہ نانا نبی بابا علی حسن جمیع خصالہ یعنی نبی آل نبی صلو علیہ وآلہ یعنی نبی آل نبی صلو علیہ وآلہ. اب 3 اشعار کی زحمت دوں گا آپ کو کہ ہمارے میلاد ہو جشن ہو مجالس ہوں اور ہماری پوری زندگی کربلا سے جڑی ہوئی ہے. اگرچہ جشن بھی ہو تو لیکن کہیں نہ کہیں مصائب کے اشعار آ ہی جاتے ہیں، اور فضیلت کو آپ مصائب سے علیحدہ نہیں کر سکتے، وہ لازم و ملزوم ہے۔ کہ شبیر کے جھولے کو، بہت توجہ چاہوں گا میں، جھولانے میں لگے ہیں، شبیر کے جھولے کو جھولانے میں لگے ہیں، جبریل بھی پہچان بڑھانے میں لگے ہیں، جبریل بھی پہچان بڑھانے میں لگے ہیں، اور اصغر کے تبسم نے کیا خوب ہے حملہ، بہت توجہ چاہوں گا اس شعر کے اوپر، اصغر کے تبسم نے کیا خوب ہے حملہ، سب تیروں کماں جان بچانے میں لگے ہیں، سب تیروں کماں جان بچانے میں لگے ہیں، عباس کی للکار سے ہیبت ہوئی طاری، عباس کی للکار سے ہیبت ہوئی طاری، آداؤ لئیم کو چھپانے میں لگے ہیں، عباس کی للکار سے ہیبت ہوئی طاری، آداؤ لئیم کو چھپانے میں لگے ہیں، شبیر کے جھولے کو جھولانے میں لگے ہیں، صلوات۔ بار دیگر سب کیوں چاند میں کھوئے ہو، کیوں چاند میں کھوئے ہو، الجھے ہو ستاروں میں، کیوں چاند میں کھوئے ہو، الجھے ہو ستاروں میں، ارے جب آلے محمد جب آلے محمد ہے قرآن کے پاروں میں، رضوان تیری جنت کو دیکھوں جو ملے فرصت، فی الحال تو میں گم ہوں کربل کے نظاروں میں، فی الحال تو میں گم ہوں کربل کے نظاروں میں۔ اعلان نبوت سے اعلان ولایت تک جذبہ شہادت تھا، دکھ درد کے ماروں میں جذبہ شہادت تھا، دکھ درد کے ماروں میں۔ تین چار شعر پڑھ کے میں جو ہے اسی طرح سے کہ دل تو یہ چاہتا ہے کہ اتنے قصیدے اور اتنے مناقب ہیں کہ کیا کیا پڑھے آدمی، تو صلوات۔ یہ جو کلام ہے اس کے اندر مصرع ثانی ایک ہی ہے، مصرع ثانی ایک ہی ہے، اور مصرع اول جو ہے وہ مختلف ہے، وہ فضائل کا ہے۔ انوار کی دنیا کا ولی ابن ولی ہو، شعر دیکھیں آپ۔ انوار کی دنیا کا ولی ابن ولی ہو، لازم ہے کہ وہ شخص حسین ابن علی ہو، لازم ہے کہ وہ شخص حسین ابن علی ہو، جو صورت و کردار میں احمد کی شبیہ ہو، جو صورت و کردار میں احمد کی شبیہ ہو، لازم ہے کہ وہ شخص حسین ابن علی ہو، لازم ہے کہ وہ شخص حسین ابن علی ہو، اور قدموں سے قضا لپٹی ہو، چہرے پہ ہنسی ہو، قدموں سے قضا لپٹی ہو، چہرے پہ ہنسی ہو، لازم ہے کہ وہ شخص حسین ابن علی ہو، اور میدان میں کرار ہو، منبر پہ نبی ہو، میدان میں کرار ہو، منبر پہ نبی ہو، لازم है कि वो शख्स हुसैन इब्ने अली हो, लाजिम है कि वो शख्स हुसैन इब्ने अली हो, और खुद रस्म वफा उस के कबीले से चली हो, खुद रस्म वफा उस के कबीले से चली हो, लाजिम है कि वो शख्स हुसैन इब्ने अली हो, अनवार की दुनिया का वली इब्ने वली हो। सलावत और मोहम्मद व आले मोहम्मद।
ये थे सैयद अली, एंड यकीन माने सबसे ज़्यादा इनकी सेहत और सलामती के लिए आप सब 3 दफ़ा बुलंद आवाज़ से सलवात भिजवा दीजिए। अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद, अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ली अला मुहम्मद व आले मुहम्मद, अल्लाहुम्मा। Now promise is going to switch to English, inshallah. As you know, one more time after inshallah the speech, we had Kahoot game for the kids, and real good cakes, goodie bags, gift cards. Oh man, can I give you my car key? Because kids are not here. So you cannot miss it. And you all need to stay inside. First of all, Sayyid Ali Bhai, thank you so much accepting our invitation, and as always on day of Hussaini and day of Ali, you are always here. You are always here, and may Allah and Mawla accept your ibadat, inshallah. I mean, with that, brothers and sisters, last few weeks, this community lost very dear brothers and sisters for this community. I don't have a word to describe the brothers, and also one of the great alim I know. He was my teacher when I started on, I think so, 1995 or 96, volunteering at MOMIN. I follow him very closely, and I can say Sheikh Muhammad Nasir Beria, he was my teacher. We lost him 2 weeks ago. Just one day before we lost our beloved brother Wajah Siddiqui, and also the one of the Zakira sister we lost with brother Wajah Siddiqui, and also 2 of the Iranian community member. Yesterday we did one janaza. It was very young sister. His husband told me he had one young child due to the cancer. Also we buried one Iranian brother today again. And also all the Shuhada of Islam, Marhum Ulma Ikram, Zakire, Ahram, and all Mominin and Mominat, include your Marhumin and my Marhumin. And also I lost one very dear friend of mine a few days ago, actually last week also, Brother Sayyid Samin Hussain. He live in India. I lost him. He was sick too. Please include him on your Surah Fatiha, and please include me in your Surah Fatiha too. Please recite the Surah Fatiha 3 times Surah Ikhlas with your loud salawat. Allahumma. बर मोहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद सलवात अल्लाहुम्मा सल्ले अला मुहम्मद वाले मोहम्मद वज्जल फरजहु. I think so, Brother Turab will give me a time to thank Maulana for accepting our invitation. Yes, he showed me the watch, so I'm just asking permission. Once again, from bottom of our heart, we thank Maulana Sheikh Hamza Saudagar to accepting our invitation to come to the Islamic Center of MOMIN for last 3 nights. This is the last lecture tonight for this month. Inshallah, you're going to see him more often. And also on behalf of the Islamic Center of MOMIN community, MOMIN Executive Committee, especially the Program Committee, since I'm not part of it, and also the resident alim. Thank you, Maulana, for accepting our invitation and coming all the way from California to address your known DFW community. And inshallah, we hope to see you in the near future and take us the father of your knowledge. With that, I'm going to request Maulana Sheikh Hamza Saudagar to address the Mu'mineen with your loud salawat. Allahumma.
السلام عليكم جميعا ورحمة الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان اللعين الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين بارئ الخلائق أجمعين باعث الأنبياء والمرسلين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا سيد الخلق أجمعين حبيبنا حبيب إله العالمين أبي القاسم المصطفى محمد وعلى أهل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المكرمين المنتجبين لا سيما بقية الله في الأراضين روحي وأرواح العالمين لتراب مقدمه الفداء ولعنة الله على أعدائهم أجمعين إلى قيام يوم الدين. For the hastening the return of our Imam, let's recite the salawat. Our salutations to the Imam of our time, and our congratulations to him and to all of you lovers and followers of the Ahlul Bayt on the occasion of the birth of Imam Al-Hussain, Sayyid al-Shuhada, Sayyid al-Ahrar, the Imam who taught us, for those who learned from him, Ad-Hayhat min al-Dhillah, the Imam who taught us that when they give you the choice between death and disobeying God, we choose death over that. We're not willing to disobey God. We're not willing to obey God's creation against God and His word. This is a lesson of Karbala, Imam Al-Hussain, and we hope and pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blesses us with the ability to follow that Imam. It is always easy to praise those who take stances like that, especially after the event is done. Years, centuries after Karbala, we all come together, we commemorate Ashura, on the birth of Imam Hussain, on the birth of Abu al-Fadl al-Abbas, on the birth of ZANYAB, on the birth of Imam Zain al-Abidin. These figures who are known to us from the scene of Karbala, all of them being involved in that. Our praises to them, their chivalry, and their unwavering stance for Allah against oppression. But when it comes to taking that stance, that's not something that we race each other to take. That's something that we push each other to create shields of others for ourselves. You go. In Karbala, the race between the companions is who goes first, except for Abbas, who said to his brothers, I want to watch you die for Hussein before I die. I don't want to push you so you get killed before I do. I want to go through the process of seeing you die to make sure I experience that before I myself die. That's not us, unfortunately. And we have to move in that direction, brothers, sisters. When we praise this behavior in Karbala, that means we acknowledge that it's beautiful. We acknowledge it's right. We see the beauty of it. Why avoid it? What happens? What happens to us? We end up behaving very similar to those who identified as Shia in Kufa. You know, Kufa was not a city that was Shia as it is today. It was a city that the majority were not Shia, but there was a good number of people who identified as Shia to the best of their knowledge at the time, not with all the theological knowledge or terminology that we use to describe Ghadir and Imamat and so on and so forth. But they would be classified as Shia of Ali. They were the ones who called Imam al-Hussain to Kufa because they preferred him. They knew he's the rightful ruler and leader. And they knew it. They asked him, they wrote letters. A person like Sulaiman ibn Surad, who's someone that used to be with Amirul Mu'mineen, and when Imam al-Mujtaba signed the treaty, he was a critic of the treaty. He could not believe that the Imam is signing a treaty that means we stop fighting. He went to Medina to argue with the Imam to see why he's not rising and to tell him to rise. And he's one of the ones who encouraged all those people to write letters, according to the accounts that we have in Karbala, 12,000 letters. And then when Muslim came to Kufa, 18,000 people pledged allegiance to Imam al-Hussain. That's not the majority of Kufans, but it is 18,000 people. In Karbala, there's 72. Most of them are not from Kufa. Where is Sulaiman? Where is Sulaiman? And it's interesting that in Karbala, Zuhair ibn Qeen comes. Zuhair ibn Qeen is not even Shia of Ali, he's Shia of Uthman. He was an Uthmani. But he comes to Karbala. The ones who identified as Shia did not come to Karbala. It is a known story, the story of Wahab, a Christian who came with Imam al-Hussain, but the Shia didn't go with Imam al-Hussain. You think that because we mention the names of the Ahlul Bayt, we send and recite salawat for them, that we are automatically with them? It is clear to me some of the shuhada that we have in Gaza are more with Imam al-Hussain than the likes of me. Some of those great leaders, As-Sinwar rahmatullah alayh, for example. These are people who lived and fought like Hussein. I saw a video of Sinwar. He was speaking to the people. In it, he quoted Amirul Mu'mineen. He said, we, when it comes to death, we refer to the words of Ali, who said, which of 2 days should I fear death? The day that God has written it for me, or the day that God has not written it for me? The day that God has written it for me, no matter what I do, I cannot escape it. So why fear it? And the day that it's not written for me, no matter what happens, I will not die. Why should I be afraid? He didn't just speak those words, he lived that. You saw that. The world saw that. Okay. Is he called Shia? Is he classified as Shia? But I believe he was closer to Imam al-Hussain than the likes of myself, who identify as Shia. Brothers, sisters, the births of the Ma'sumin are a time for us to reevaluate, recalibrate, remind dhikra, inna dhikra tanfa'ul mu'mineen. The majalis of the Ahlul Bayt should be majalis that we receive reminders. These reminders are supposed to be times where between the moment we entered this life and the moment we depart, we keep making sure, am I on Siratul Mustaqim or not? That's what the recalibration is for. Looking back at your GPS, at your map, at whatever you're using, the Quran, which is supposed to be our reference point. Think, am I on his path? Am I on their path? Am I with them? And if I'm not, get back on track. We said in the month of Sha'ban, there are 2 du'as we have from the Ahlul Bayt that give us a roadmap, show us what to do in order to benefit from the blessings of the month of Sha'ban, in order to make progress on Siratul Mustaqim. Get back on track on Siratul Mustaqim. Identify Siratul Mustaqim. One of them that I tried to use in the last 2 sessions, and I didn't really cover much wording, we just talked about the salawat, and in the verse of the Quran that we are told, we are given the command of salawat. After the salawat, there's something which says, وَسَلِّمُوا تَسْلِيمًا. We talked about the connection between salawat and taslim, and we focused on that. I don't want to reiterate. What I want to mention tonight is from Munajat Sha'baniyah. Okay, there are
teachings that we are given in the form of dua, they are wordings that stem from the teachings of the Quran, rephrased as supplication, requesting things from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, putting those teachings that are identified as goals in the form of me asking for those things. And with this language, the A'imma have helped us set the ideals and the goals of the Quran for human beings as our goals. And one of the ways we can determine which dua is from the Ma'soom and which is not is comparing it to the Quran and seeing how much does it comply with or conform with the Quran. I was asked earlier today, a brother was saying, you know, this ilm al-rijal that people get obsessed with. Like, oh, people, newbies that have just been to some institution of Islamic studies and they get obsessed with this discipline, or they didn't even go to an institution of Islamic studies. They went to academia, they get obsessed with that. They look at the works of Hussain Mudarrisi and all these other folks that like to pull up books of Rijal and cite this person and that person, this name and that name, and confuse themselves and everyone else. You say, oh, Dua Kumail is da'if. They'll try to pronounce it with the Arabic pronunciation as well, make it seem a little more authentic. You say, oh, Dua Kumail is da'if. You're da'if, brother. You're weak. What kind of logic is this? You refer to the lines of the dua. What is your proof for rejecting hadith based on da'if? You've picked up a few terminology from this book, from that book, rejecting hadith. What the heck is this? If you look at Dua Kumail, you read the lines, pay attention to them, the precision in the wording, which sometimes is skewed, unfortunately, with rephrasing. I'll read you a line from Dua Kumail. If I can remember, recite salawat. It's a line that talks about Allah putting me in a situation where I fail. And then it gets to a point where we say that I've come to you ba'da taqsiri wa israfi ala nafsi. Words a line before that. If I can recite salawat, let me just pull it up instead of just trying to go by memory. The second one, for the love of Zahra, salamullahi alayha. إلهي ومولاي أجريت علي حكما اتبعت فيه هوى نفسي ولم أحترس فيه من تزيين عدوي فغرني بما أهوى وأسعده على ذلك القضاء فتجاوزت بما جرى علي من ذلك بعد حدودك وخالفت بعد أوامرك فلك الحمد علي في جميع ذلك. There is no way that a non-ma'soom would write this. The level of tawheed found in this, which I've seen, let me read, and says, وَلَا حُجَّةَ لِي فِي مَا جَرَى عَلَيَّ فِيهِ قَضَاؤُكَ. I've seen people who don't understand. This is how I know this is from the Imam. People who don't understand and they think they know Arabic, like, oh, there's a mistake there. It says, فَلَكَ الْحَمْدُ عَلَيَّ فِي جَمِيعِ ذَلِكَ. It's not hamd, it's hujjah. You say, فَلَكَ الْحُجَّةُ عَلَيَّ فِي. No, it's not. Leave it. Leave it. The old books that have this, it's فَلَكَ الْحَمْدُ عَلَيَّ فِي جَمِيعِ ذَلِكَ. أَجْرَيْتَ عَلَيَّ. I don't want to spend too much time on this. I'm just going to very quickly mention what it says. It says, you brought on me a situation where I disobeyed your command. You brought it on me. Your qada, your will manifested in me disobeying you. In that condition, what you deserve of me is nothing but hamd. Allahu Akbar. There's no way anyone could understand and say this but a ma'soom. And then, وَلَا حُجَّةَ لِي. I can't say, oh, you brought this upon me, I don't deserve hell. لَا حُجَّةَ عَلَيَّ فِي جَنَّةٍ. If I had just this one line in the dua, I would say, this is definitely from the ma'soom. There's no alim could come up with this wording. We've seen the ulama of the time and their wording. You pick up, I don't want to mention names, books of hadith. There's hadith, the words attributed to the ma'soom. Most of them are from the ma'soom. And then there's a little bit of commentary by the non-ma'soom, the alim who compiled the book. It's like you're traveling in, it's like you're way up there with the wording of the ma'soom, and then suddenly you drop. You take a dive. The du'as that we have from the ma'soomeen are there. When we look at their conformance with the Quran, keep comparing. You can tell this one is, it isn't. I've mentioned before, like dua nudba is from the 12th Imam. Sayyid Ibn Tawus mentions this dua in his book. It's from the 12th Imam. However, not every line of it is accurate. One line of it is definitely wrong. I first heard it from Ayatollah Khushbakht. The line that says, يَبْنَ مَنْ دنا فتدلى فكان قاب قوسين أو أدنى دنوا واقترابا من العلي الأعلى. This is wrong. It's just wrong. It cites a part of a couple of verses of the Quran. فدنا فتدلى فكان قاب قوسين أو أدنى is from the Quran, Surah An-Najm. Then it adds دنوا واقترابا من العلي الأعلى. Nearness and proximity from Al-Ali Al-A'la, which is used to refer to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. What this dua supposedly says is that there's a person that gets so close to God that the distance between him and God is the distance of 2 bows or closer. And this is referring to supposedly the Holy Prophet sallallahu alaihi wa alihi. Well, this is wrong. This is wrong. You cannot get that close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. The only way it's possible for any finite person or thing to get close to another is that other thing is also finite. If you compare a finite and an infinite, there's no way you can be any measurement closer. The only way as possible is that both parties are finite. It's impossible. And more importantly, the Quran is not saying this. The Quran is talking about وَهُوَ بِالْأُفُقِ الْأَعْلَى فَدَنَا فَتَدَلَّى فَكَانَ قَابَ قَوْسَيْنِ أَوْ أَدْنَى. It's talking about Jibreel being up in the heaven and then getting closer and closer to the Prophet, and the distance between Jibreel and the Prophet is قَابَ قَوْسَيْنِ أَوْ أَدْنَى. It has nothing to do with anyone being closer to God. That part of Dua Nutbah is not accurate. It's wrong. But there's plenty of accurate parts of it. The entirety can't be approved of. You've got to compare it to the Quran. Anything. Munajat Sha'baniyah is one of those munajats that the more you look at it, the more you realize that this is definitely from the Ma'soom. And obviously, I cannot read the whole of the entirety of the dua. I want to read just a little bit of it and go back to the point that I mentioned at the beginning. These du'as, this is a roadmap. This is where we fail. These du'as are teaching us how to get closer to Allah, how to become better people, how to become real Shia, how to follow the footsteps of Ali salamullah alayhi. Okay. Recite another salawat, please. The line I want to quote is a line that is actually pretty well known. Ilahi, I'm trying to find it here, I don't want to misquote. Ilahi habli kamal al-inqita'i ilayk. I wanted to find it before I started, then I started reading the munajat earlier, and just saw, it's really injustice to just pick that one line. There's so much in this, but I'm just going to have to
go ahead and read that part. إلهي هب لي كمال الانقطاع إليك وأنر أبصار قلوبنا بضياء نظرها إليك حتى تخرق أبصار القلوب حجب النور فتصل إلى معدن العظمة وتصير أرواحنا معلقة بعز قدسك. And from that point onwards, the dua enters another phrase, a different teaching, a different request, a different supplication. And from this, I'm not going to get into the complicated parts. What does it mean? وَأَنِرْ أَبْصَارَ قُلُوبِنَا بِضِيَاءِ نَظَرِهَا إِلَيْكَ. I'll just translate that. Anir means to enlighten the eyes of our hearts, بِضِيَاءِ نَظَرِهَا إِلَيْكَ, with the light of, for want of a better word, نَظَرِهَا, it looking at you. What does that even mean? I don't know. Okay, I don't claim to know. The easy part is this, the line before that. إلهي هب لي كمال الانقطاع إليك. This is easy to understand. Oh Allah, gift me. Gift me what? كمال الانقطاع إليك. For me to have the perfected, again for want of a better word, I'm neither good with English or any other language, I'm just the simple words that come to my mind as equivalents. The perfected inqita', disconnection toward you, which means from everything else and toward you. Disconnect from everything and everyone and only be connected with you. إلهي هب لي كمال الانقطاع إليك. One of the purposes of dua, if not the main purpose of dua, is to create a desire and want in the mind and in the heart of the one who recites and reads that dua. When you read Munajat Sha'baniyah, we said it's a roadmap, okay? We said we're told to repeat this. Repeating something, you're going to be acquainted with the wording, learn the wording, and when you're asking God, give me this, you're going to hopefully develop that want. You're going to want what the Imam taught you to want. What does he want you to want? What does the Imam teach us to want? Disconnect from everything and only be connected to Allah. The want of that has got to develop in a person. What's the importance of the want? God says in the Quran, وَإِذَا سَأَلَكَ عِبَادِي عَنِّي فَإِنِّي قَرِيبٌ أُجِيبُ دَعْوَةَ الدَّاعِ إِذَا دَعَانِ. If my ibad ask you about me, tell them I'm near. And I answer the call when you call. When you call, when you ask, when you supplicate, God answers that. He doesn't say, well, you need to say 3 salawats first. He doesn't say you need to do this first. He doesn't say you shouldn't sin. He said, when you call, I answer. It's not like some people say, us Molanas. You send a text message, 3 days later, maybe a response. No, when you call, he responds. Okay. You make dua. If the want is there, you're asking Allah, he responds. So, okay, you want this. Ilahi habli kamal al-inqita'i ilayk. The Imam is teaching us, develop that want. Okay, we say to the Imam, we learned, we asked Allah, now we're waiting for Allah to give it to us. Why is he not giving it to us? Why am I supposed to repeat this? Every Sha'ban comes, Munajat Sha'baniyah, Ilahi habli kamal al-inqita'a ilayk. 1 month, 2 months, 20 years, 30 years, 50 years, I'm still reading, Ilahi habli kamal al-inqita'a ilayk. And then it's not happening.
The Imam is teaching us to develop this as a want, as a desire. As long as the want and the desire is there, Allah will give it to you. He will take you to a point that you are disconnected from everything and you're only connected to Allah. He will. The problem is, it's a long process. The moment you give up and no longer want it, He's no longer going to give it to you. If you say, Ya Allah, send me for Hajj, you say, okay. I'll give you what you need for Hajj. I'll give you what I know you need for Hajj. And I'll send you to Hajj the year that I know it's good for you. But before that year comes, I say, Ya Allah, I don't want to go to Hajj. I changed my mind. I no longer want it. Well, He's not going to give it to me. He was working toward it. He started the process, but I changed. As long as we want it, as long as the desire is there, He's going to continue to give. If it's something as simple as giving you a piece of candy, a piece of chocolate, well, He gave you, it's done. But it's not that. This thing takes time. Ilahi habli kamal al-inqita'i ilayk. You know who practiced this? Ibrahim. Ibrahim was in his teens when he was thrown in the fire. Did that make him kamal al-inqita'? Did he reach kamal al-inqita'i ilayk? No. He's made to leave that land. He goes to the Holy Land. He gets married to a second wife. He has a child. Sarah is what we call jealous, tells him, go drop her and him off in the middle of the desert. I'm cutting it short, of course. There's a lot of details here. He goes and drops off his wife and child in the middle of the desert, comes back. Is that kamalul inqita'? No. He has to go back, visit, come back, and then go later, reconstruct the Kaaba. He spent a little bit of time with his son that he's been missing all these years. Now Allah said, slit his throat. It took all these years and all these trials, tribulations, tests for him to reach Kamal al-Inqita'. And God knows what level of it, because these are gradational. If any of us gives up in the middle of the way, say, God, thank you very much, but I don't want it. If you don't ask this genuinely, sometimes we read dua, we don't pay attention to the meaning. These are not magic spells that the word, just pronouncing it, is going to have an effect. These are du'as that saying it from your heart is going to have an effect. And you can't say it from the heart if you don't understand it. You got to read this and cry and beg, Ilahi habli kamal al-inqita' ilayk. And if you really want it, then God says, okay, I'll give it. There's a story, Ayatollah Khamenei mentioned this story. One of the shuhada, of the good shuhada of the 8-year war. Many of his friends were shaheed. And he was still alive. He'd been fighting, he'd been all over the place in the battlefield, but he wasn't getting killed. He wanted shahada. And he said, this is written in a book, I don't know if he told his wife or who he told. Someone heard it, and this is written in a book, and Ayatollah Khamenei read it in that book, and he told it and said it in a speech. He had this dream, he saw one of his friends that was martyred, was a shaheed. And in his dream, he asks his friend, tell me, what's the secret? How can I get there? I've been asking for it. He said his friend told him in the dream, the secret is tears. You have to cry. You have to beg. That's the secret. You got to beg. Are you really wanting this? Are you really wanting this? You really want inqita', kamal al-inqita' ilayk? Or the moment God wants to take you in that direction, take something from you. Okay, you want kamal al-inqita', I have to take this thing away from you. The moment He takes something away from us, we start cursing Him and everything, the whole world. Well, God says, well, you don't really want it. You don't really want it. Brothers, sisters, it is not possible to be the companions of Imam al-Hussain, to be the ones who join him in Karbala, to be the ones that join Imam al-Hujjah without a genuine desire to lose everything, including this life, for Allah under the banner of that Imam. Let me give you a couple of other du'as as my reference for that. In the month of Ramadan, go read the list of du'as from the A'imma, daily du'as in Mafatihul Janan. There's a short du'a from Imam al-Sadiq, Salamullah alayhi wa ruhi lahu al-fida. It's a short du'a. One of the lines, like meaning 3-4 lines max, it doesn't take long at all. One of the things he asked for is وَقَتْلًا فِي سَبِيلِكَ تحت راية نبيك مع وليك. Oh Allah, in the month of Ramadan, I'm asking, I want to be killed in your way, under the banner of your Prophet with your wali. It's one reference. The du'as that are related to the coming of the Imam, Du'a al-Ahd or the ziyarat of the Imam, which the wording is very similar. وَجَعَلْنِي مِنْ أَشْيَاعِهِ وَأَنصَارِهِ وَأَعْوَانِهِ, different wordings, and then وَالْمُسْتَشْهَدِينَ بَيْنَ يَدَيْهِ. I want to be one of the shuhada. This is telling us, you want to be with these a'imma, you have to want shahada. You have to want to lose this life in the way of Allah. That's how Ali was. Ali begged Allah after the issues of Saqifa, after the demise of Rasulullah. Amir al-Mu'mineen said, if I fight, they say he was greedy, he wanted power. If I don't fight, they say he was a coward. And Allah knows that I desire death more than a baby desires to be nursed. Ali has spoken this many times. Ali taught his son, Muhammad ibn al-Hanafiyyah, in the battle of Siffin. He told him, he gave him the banner, he said, you have got to aim the last flag of the enemy. A'irillah jumjumatak. Give your skull to God. Say, God, this is yours. Whatever you want to do with it, it's yours. Give it back to me. I'm aiming for that over there. You cannot do that if you're trying to save and protect your life. Ali taught, you want to be my soldier? I'm saying this to Muhammad ibn al-Hanafiyyah. But this is to anyone who wants to be the soldier of Ali. A'irillah jumjumatak. What's going to happen? We're going to say, what's going to happen? Nothing. Allah has promised victory. Allah promised victory to Imam al-Hussain. He was killed and he was the victor of that battle. What's going to happen? Is that the question of the Shia? What are they going to do to us? What are they going to do to us? Nothing. Did we forget Allah is our wali? Allah is our mawla? Do we believe that? Let me read a verse for you. This is in Surah Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa alayhi. Recite another salawat, please. ذلك بأن الله مولى الذين آمنوا وأن الكافرين لا مولى لهم. Do we believe in this book? Is this from God? So that is because Allah is our protector, our guardian. And al-kafirin la mawla lahum. Where's Netanyahu going to run to? Nowhere. Nowhere. The believers won. Where are you going to go? Where are you going to go? Nowhere. What are these fools here going to go? Nowhere. Where are we going to go? Allah is our Mawla in this life and in the next. This is the logic of the Quran, and therefore the logic of Ali and Fatima and Muhammad and Hassan and Hussain, salamullah alayhim ajma'een. The purpose, according to Allah, we need to recalibrate again. The purpose of life in this world, to many of us, has turned into let's live comfortable lives. That's the objective. That has become the objective, which is a material objective. That is not the logic of the Quran. The Quran doesn't say, I created you to have comfortable lives in this world. The Quran says, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ. We've created humanity in difficulty. That's what the Quran says. The Quran says, وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ بِشَيْءٍ مِّنَ الْخَوْفِ وَالْجُوعِ وَنَقْصٍ مِّنَ الْأَمْوَالِ وَالْأَنفُسِ وَالثَّمَرَاتِ وَبَشِّرِ الصَّابِرِينَ. We will test you. We will test you with losses. We will take things away from you. There is no escape from that. We will give, we will take. If you have, don't think it's yours. We gave you. The logic that it's mine, I made this money, is Qaruni logic. That's what Qarun said. It's mine. His people, according to the Quran, went to him and said, look, God gave you this. Don't forget the hereafter, and then a little bit for this dunya as well. He said, I made this money. You go make your own. God showed all of them that it's his the moment he wanted, and in a drastic way. We didn't really experience that. You say the ground swallowed him. What does that mean? I've never seen that. Never seen that. When he wants, he gives. The purpose was never to live these comfortable lives. There's nothing wrong with comfort. We don't need to avoid comfort. But that being the goal in life, where we sacrifice these teachings, where we don't want God, we want this, no. Imam al-Hussain was wealthy. You think he was poor? If he was poor, how could he take all those hundreds of people with him? It costs money to travel. Have you ever tried traveling? You got to feed people. On the way, there's no supermarket. You buy stuff. You got to kill animals that you have with you. He was wealthy. He had money. Amir al-Mu'mineen was wealthy. Bibi Fatima had FedEx. She was wealthy until the Mal'uns took it away from her. And they still had wealth, of course, but not as wealthy. Amir al-Mu'mineen had wealth. Imam al-Hassan had wealth. Imam al-Hussain had wealth. He brought it. That's not the objective in life. I will give it all in the way of Allah. Work hard, be the best in your field. But don't make that the goal of your life. The goal of your life is Allah Himself. Don't sell yourself cheap. It's very cheap. Wallah, it's very cheap. However much, however many mansions, if you own the entirety of the globe, it's nothing compared to being close to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. It's nothing. Wallah, it's nothing. It means nothing. Not because we just claim it. Look around. Look at all these folks that are considered very wealthy. Look at Elon Musk, the big shot today. Jeff Bezos is old news now. Okay. La'natullah alayhim. They're not good people. They're monsters. Okay. But let's look at them. What are you enjoying, Mr. Musk? What are you enjoying? How are you feeling internally? Have you ever, did you in the whole, what's the guy, somebody referred to him as a pirate, what's Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp and Amber Heard case. You all saw it, it was all over the news, everybody saw it, right? Did you hear about the relationship between Elon Musk and Amber Heard? What's going on in your personal life? Are you enjoying life? Who's with you? A few moments in front of the camera acting like you're big shot, getting some attention, feeling great. You own Twitter, okay, great. How do you feel internally? I can't use the word I want. That's how he feels. A few moments of attention. Look within. What is there? And then you're working against the clock. You own this much money. How old are you, Mr. Elon Musk? When are you going to stop being able to enjoy the foods that you want? When are you going to turn into a body that no woman likes to look at? If you even live that long, then what? They've convinced themselves like, everyone's going to die and there's going to be nothing. They act like it's so scientific. You're so dumb. To not see God while you're working in His realm, in His universe. There is life after death. You don't enjoy it in this life and you don't enjoy it in the next. There is nothing for you in the next, but you don't even enjoy it here. There is nothing comparable to feeling that Allah is your Mawla. Feeling Him giving you things. Imam Al-Kadhim Salamullah alayhi was imprisoned. He was imprisoned for years. Solitary confinement, worse conditions. Worse conditions. He was the same strong individual within. Yeah, his body got weak, but within, he never backed down. That's why they never released him. They had to kill him. They had weakened his body physically so much it wasn't enough. We still can't release him because his spirit is not broken. Why? Where does that strength come from? That he's content in prison, in solitary confinement. The descriptions of the prison, levels below the earth without ventilation, not seeing any light for years. He's happy. Allah is with him. Why do we not feel it? We're not there. We're not moving in that direction. Allah will give you these believers. I kid you not, and I'm 100% sure about this. These believers who were fighting from the tunnels in Gaza for over a year and a half, it's impossible for them to have continued fighting like this with that spirit, despite these losses, in the way they did, especially all the way to the end, those last operations they were carrying out. It is impossible unless they know God is with them. Unless they know God is with them. And you saw God gave them the victory. The whole world saw. God gives you. And then you can't turn away from it. Like, I don't want the dunya. Yeah, doesn't hurt. Yeah, having mansions, having different things, not a problem. But not at the cost of not having God by my side. It's not worth it. It is absolutely not worth it. Something that we can understand. We say God, unfortunately, a lot of us can't even process that. You say it in a different line. Some people, different wording. Some people, there's one Shahid Boronsi. This is documented. People saw this. In one of the operations against Saddam, they were supposed to go through a minefield. And they had to move when it was pitch black. Someone had to clear the minefield, clear a path so they can go through. Because they were sanctioned, the other side was supplied with everything. They didn't have the ability to have all the technology to be able to get through these, get rid of the mines and all of that. They had to go when it was pitch black. They had limited time. If that time was lost, if it started getting a little bit of brightness in the sky, they would all be visible, they would all be killed, the whole operations failed, and tons of people would be dead. This is a commander, Shahid Buronsi. He goes into sajda, he asks Allah for help. And then they have documented this. He said, I heard the voice of Bibi Fatima, who told me, get up, I will guide you. And he told his men to line up behind him. This is talking people who were there. Some of them lived. He told us, step behind me through a minefield, pitch black. This many steps. Come, now take a right, now move forward, take a left here. Through the minefield, nobody got hurt. They carried out the operation. Would you like Bibi Fatima to speak to you? We understand that at least. Alhamdulillah, we love the Ahlul Bayt that much, we can understand that. This shaheed is a shaheed that gave up his family to protect another believer who was fighting the Shah's regime in those difficult times. He went out to bring a midwife. His wife was pregnant in Mashhad. I've been to that house. I saw this woman. I saw his children. His wife was pregnant. She started having pains. His mother-in-law is in the house. He went, and I believe this was his first child. He went out to get a midwife. He stepped out the house. One of his friends who was fighting against the Shah was coming toward him. He told him, I need help. They're after me. They're going to kill me. This is how they were. It's not like these days we can say whatever we want and no one's there to do anything to us. That's how it is right now. Over there in Iran before the revolution, no, you could get killed for just carrying a few sentences written down from Imam Khomeini. He said, they're after me, they're going to kill me. He realized he's got an option here. Go get a midwife or help this believer, which is helping the cause. In his judgment, I need to help this person. So he couldn't even notify them. There's no phones, there's no way of telling them. He just went with this person. He had to take care of him. Next day, midday, night, sometime, he came back and he felt ashamed. He didn't know what to answer his family. I said, I've been to that house. His wife was there. She confirmed this story. He says, I got back. I was thinking of how to apologize. My mother-in-law said, thanks, the midwife was great. Amazing. He said, I didn't send a midwife. I had to go take care of this. Allah takes care of you. ذَلِكَ بِأَنَّ اللَّهَ مَوْلَى الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا وَأَنَّ الْكَافِرِينَ لَا مَوْلَى لَهُمْ. These are words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. His tawassul to Bibi Fatima was, his love for Bibi Fatima was highest. Bibi Fatima helped him. If I don't receive things like that, it's because I don't sacrifice the way these people did. To attach to this. Ilahi habli kamal al-inqita' ilay. Allah, you help me. I have trouble here. I hear these great things and it's really nice. It's admirable. I really admire people who are able to do that. But what can I do? Allah, I can't do this. It's so hard for me. That's why we're asking, Ilahi habli kamal al-inqita' ilayk. In the month of Sha'ban, with tawassul to the Ahlul Bayt, on these nights we're taught, read this, make this the desire of your heart. Habli kamal al-inqita' ilayk. So that maybe He grants us also the understanding of the rest of those lines. And maybe He gives us a sight of that ma'dinul azama that He describes in this dua, inshallah. We ask Allah by the right of the Ahlul Bayt to hasten the return of our Imam. We ask Allah to help us be His true and close companions. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to help all those who are helping His cause, especially our ulama, our maraja, above all our leader. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to forgive us all of our sins. Forgive our parents, our grandparents, our relatives, all believers, those who are alive, those who passed away, all the mu'mineen and mu'minat that were mentioned prior to the session, those from this community, the one I mentioned last night from Maryland community, all the mu'mineen and mu'minat who have passed away. Ya Allah, grant all of us
and all believers worldwide our hajat, our needs, our requests. Give all of us the best of what you've given to Muhammad and al Muhammad in this life and in the next. Relieve all those who are suffering from hardships, difficulties, illnesses. A lot of people have been informed that are suffering from different illnesses. Ya Allah, give them the relief that is best for them, that you know, sooner rather than later, inshaAllah. And we ask Allah to relieve all the people of the world of the oppressions they're facing. Bin Nabiy wa alih, rahimallah man qara al-Fatihata ma'as salawat.
Brothers and sisters, please settle down so we can start with the Kahoot session. I request to put the pin for Kahoot session for tonight. It's time to take out our cell phones, our gadgets, and start scanning for the Kahoot tonight, inshallah. And then after Kahoot, we have the cake cutting ceremony here, and then we have the goodie bags as well. Kahoot. All right, here you go. Before you log into Kahoot, there is a rule which we are going to implement tonight, and that is your first name and your last name. That is going to be your name which we are going to use, because there are so many abbreviations and spicy samosas coming, so we are going to remove those. So please, if you want to participate, put your first name dot last name, so we don't have any duplications or we don't have any issues with the nicknames. Huh? Beta, Mishi, sit down, Mishi. In 5 minutes. Inshallah, we'll start in 5 minutes. It's Kahoot.io, I think. It's Kahoot. It's a website, it's an application as well.
I'm there, it says Kahoot, so it's saying buy something. So.
No, you don't need to buy. You just go to the App Store, download the Kahoot app, and it will ask you for the pin.
You can just do it directly in the browser.
I-O?
IT.
Okay.
Where's the QR code? Start.
It's coming in 5 minutes. Kahoot.it.
Yeah, Kahoot.it.
Kahoot.it. You can, if you don't want to download the application, you can go to Kahoot.it and then.
When you download the application, that's for like hosting the game.
Oh, you can play as well. Yeah, you can play as well.
Kahoot.it is best.
Correct. But again, we are going to apply the rules tonight, which is your first name dot last name, please. Don't put spicy samosas. Yeah, it's too many spicy samosas here, so we don't know who is claiming prizes. So. They're going to announce. They're going to put the pin. We are going to get the pin in few minutes, so be ready with your gadgets. All right. So the pin is on the screen. First name dot last name, please. Thank you, Ali. MMSZ. Can you remove the MMSZ, please? We need to put first name dot last name. IB. First name dot last name, please. If you are not using your first name dot last name, then we are going to remove you from the Kahoots, because there was some confusion last time. So we are going to implement the first name dot last name rule this time. Thank you. H&M, IB, H&M. Please put your first name dot last name. Kahoot.it. If you don't want to install the application, you can go to a browser as well.
My mom is saying it's way too hot on the ladies' side.
Okay, go tell the red shirt.